Hello, hello. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Today, I want to bring a short little Bible message on the concept of peace. It's a very timely topic here as we're in the Christmas season. And when we think about what Christ gives us, peace is one of those gifts that is so valuable and it can change your life from the bottom up, from the inside out, letting peace rule in your hearts. And the Bible has so much to say about that. First, I want to share two different verses on the subject of peace and talk a little bit about the peace of Christ. The first verse that I have is from the book of John, and it comes from chapter 14, and the verse is verse 27. This is Jesus speaking to his disciples as he's preparing them for the time of him leaving. And this, as a backdrop, is a shock to them. They were not expecting Jesus to be killed, to leave them. They were not expecting to be on their own. Life was very comfortable. They were learning from the Master, whom they loved, whom they laughed with, who they enjoyed spending time together. And all of a sudden, Jesus starts to talk about how things are going to be when he leaves. And he's trying to share this special promise that when he leaves, he's going to give them some special gifts. And one of the gifts that he talks about in this passage is the peace that he will leave them. And the best part of being a follower of Jesus is we get to receive that gift of peace. We no longer have to worry about a heart that's troubled, about any sort of thing that would build anxiety in our life and cause us anguish and turmoil, especially when we don't know what will happen. And Jesus promises peace when he was leaving his disciples. So here's the verse, John 14:27. Here's the verse. This is Jesus speaking. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. This is John 14, verse 27. Excuse me. Another verse I want to also share with you comes from Colossians chapter 3, verse 14. And this verse says, and above all these, put on love, which binds everything in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you are called in one body. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about the peace of Christ, right? And what actually, I guess if you think about what actually causes anguish in our lives is the natural ability of our hearts to be little idol factories, right? Our hearts can start to tell us, hey, we need this, we need this, we need this. And when we don't get it, we start to get anxious and nervous. We start to get worried that we're not going to have what we need. So we start to often in our lives, we naturally find ourselves in a position of anxiousness, of our hearts being overwhelmed with not getting what we think we need. And so what does the peace of Christ look like? And what the peace of Christ looks like in all of that is a quiet tranquility of the soul, knowing deep in the inwardmost part of you that you're known by God and that he wants to bring health and sustain all that you need, the immaterial part of you, the emotional part of you, the spiritual part of you, finding its peace in Christ. And that has a certain signature to it. And I'll just share from my own experiences is when I can remind myself of the peace of Christ that rests within me, that causes me, it eliminates all the frustrations and things that really bother me in my life, is replaced with tranquility. And so often I have this partnership and this peace with the Lord. I don't have to worry about things falling apart, because even if they do in my life and and things get really difficult, I know that with me is Jesus Christ in those situations. He doesn't leave or abandon us in those times, and He gives us His peace. And this is a signature. This is a signature mark of being a disciple of Jesus Christ. And so, as I kind of start to wrap this up, my question for you is, have you experienced the peace of Christ? Have you actually had that in your life? And to sit and deeply think on that. Do I have peace in my life? And apart from Christ, your answer will be no. I don't have peace. If you do have Christ, you might say, I find that different things are bothering me and things are going on in my life. I have a lot of activities going on. But yes, through it all, I can sense the nearness of Christ. I can sense my heart being changed by Him as He enters into that space. And when you have the peace of Christ, you can tell yourself everything's going to be okay, because everything will be okay. So I just want to leave that with you, the peace of Christ. Thanks for listening. Bye.